Hi, my name is Dr. Scott Young, and I'm here with Dr. Jamie Myers and of Starkey, and we're going to talk a lot about what does an outside rep do for a private practice. Coming right up. Okay, so Jamie, talk to me a little bit about yourself.
So, I'm a doctor of audiology. I practiced for 2 years in a private practice clinic, mostly doing adult hearing aids. It's what I'm passionate about. And then I saw the opportunity to go to what they call the industry side and work for a manufacturer.
So industry side, what pushed you into that idea? What was kind of the draw?
That's interesting. I've always been intrigued by hearing aid technology, wanting to know more about it, and I also really like interacting with my colleagues. I've always liked talking to other audiologists, talking to other professionals about how they do things.
So when I think about myself, and I'm thinking about, I've been doing this for 30 years, and I've had tons of reps, and Jamie's my favorite one, and it's because she's professional. She doesn't push on the things, but there are things that she does push on. Scott, you need to consider, she's talking to my staff. We were just finishing with my staff here a second ago. Well, why don't you look at, right? And so there's a level of, you do have to educate, but you do have to have some sales communication with that too. So what does an outside rep with a hearing aid manufacturer actually do on a weekly basis, let's say?
It's variable, which is what I like about it, because no day is the same. So I have a dedicated territory. I have a little bit of North Texas, a lot of Oklahoma, and I travel going in person from clinic to clinic and educating, providing need, helping with patient fittings, helping with their business structure. If they have a question on how to implement a new pricing structure, I can provide insight and guidance on that. So
Right.
Everything is really unique. I really like every single day.
And I think that's one of the things that as a business, that when you're thinking about, us, and you're looking at our channel with that too, is that we utilize people like Jamie, and there's a whole bunch of different things that help make a business function. There are, transitions that happen with the practices. I'm sure you talk to practices that are about ready to sell to their staff member, and then Jamie is a part of that too. So can you talk a little bit about some of that thing that happens there?
Yeah, we work with so many different clinics that we've seen a lot of different ways you can do things. And so really asking the right questions to you as the practice owner and going, okay, well, what is your goal and how can I help you get there? Because your goal might not be the same as Joe Schmo's goal in Dallas, So we work through that, and I help provide options, and then we work on getting there together.
So how does the patient benefit from you specifically? When you think about, because you're trying to be support to help out that, but how does the patient say, yeah, but what does that mean to me?
Right, that's a great question. I help when things go wrong, usually.
Yeah.
Whether it's with our product, whether it's with the process, whether
shipping or something like
yes,
that.
If something is delayed and you're going, oh my gosh, Jamie, this patient's coming in tomorrow, what can we do? I will move mountain, earth, and sea to get that product to you, or get something to you in the interim that then we can swap out later. There's all sorts of little things, but usually I'm there as a safety net.
See, I don't have to do this. I will tell you, I'm very picky about manufacturers, since you know this very well. I'm very picky about manufacturers, but one of the things that happens is that, listen, I'm spending a bunch of money. So you're the patient, or your parents are thinking about coming to me. And one of the things that's really cool is that she stands behind that. And I'm with this company called Audiology Group, so then there's 280 other members. Jamie's smart about this. She also knows that, Scott's upset with that kind of thing. It can kind of infect to the rest of the people, right?
Yeah.
But what happens is that Jamie doesn't just look at me like because I'm bigger or bigger practice, or it doesn't matter if I'm the little one. but it's individual situations. So this person actually helps me to do the job for you. So it becomes this kind of mode of here and back over to here. Does that make sense to you too?
Yeah, and I mean it's Starkey's goal to serve our customers, which you are our customer, and then in turn the patient is our customer as well, to serve our customers better than anyone else.
Right.
And I think you would probably agree Starkey's been known for the best customer service in the industry.
They're by far. I mean, we do a lot of Resound and we do a lot of Starkey, but Starkey Resound. I mean, I remember telling Resound, I was like, you're gonna have to come up to Starkey level, and frankly, the other manufacturers I get frustrated with is because they don't have that touch point, because something happens. I mean, I'm going to give you an example. 9/11 occurred, and you might not remember this, but when 9/11 happened to me, all the airplanes, the FedEx airplanes, at the time you guys were FedEx airplanes were stuck in Minneapolis. And patients would call me, we're like, where are my hearing aids? And I'm like, dude, I mean, they're on an airplane. I can't get it off the ground. It's 9/11, kind of thing. And that's also some of the things that we finally hear it. Like, we might be calling up, explaining it from the patient, but you're saying, hey, you gotta understand, something happened, or there's a fire, or there's a situation, or the airplanes were downed, or whatever that is. Right.
Well, and the great thing about Starkey is that they empower me, they empower our customer service team to make decisions for what's best for the patient. And they always say, what is best for the patient? What is best for your customer?
Right.
We will do it. Because we know at the end of the day, the loyalty that creates between us is invaluable. So
and that happens here, okay, when this kind of thing works, and when I know that she's actually taking care of my other employees with the company, it kind of calms me down, because I got enough stuff on my back, and then when she can kind of take care of it, Jamie took care of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, and I've been in your shoes before, and so I know the pressure of having that patient waiting or having somebody that's upset. And if I can just do one little thing to help you, I know how much stress it takes off of you in the long run, and how much it helps the patient. So everyone benefits.
Everyone benefits, and I think that's one of the key elements. I mean, some people want to say, we're manufacturer direct, and I'm like, that actually puts the manufacturer in the same seat as the person doing the process, let's say. That actually is not the best thing if you realize it. It actually helps to have a variance here, okay? And that, Jamie can do stuff on the background that you guys don't even know about.
Yeah.
And sometimes they can feel the heat. They can realize that I'm going to get heat on it, and it may be something that she didn't do wrong, or maybe someone else maybe she needed to go, kick someone in the tail, right? I mean, maybe you have to say, hey, listen, that guy over here, we found a guy that keeps messing up, and businesses have to look at that.
Yep.
I have to look at that. You guys have to look at that too.
Absolutely, and that's how we get better. I mean, stuff happens, and you got to learn where in the process it broke down and improve. And our founder and Bill Austin always said, better today than yesterday, better tomorrow than today. We're constantly improving. There's never a perfect process or a perfect product. We're constantly getting better. So.
And that's one of the things I think that is a powerful benefit here. And I think that if we keep that kind of relationship up, it makes you, when you're sending your family out to us, or you're coming out to us and you're researching, this is the kind of thing that makes a difference. I mean, I have accountants that stand behind me. I have, HR people standing behind me. I have a whole staff of different people standing behind me, including my own staff. But Jamie's that extension for me. And then she's that conduit that I can kind of say, and I say, are other people struggling with that?
Yeah, and I talk to everyone, and I want to provide honest feedback to you. If there's an issue, I'll say, yep, it's an issue, and we're working on it. And I'm taking your feedback and giving it to the right people.
Right, and I think that's one of the things I love, and you can already see it from her. Is that it's just openness. Let's be open. Okay. I'm okay with saying, man, I messed up. And by the way, everyone messes up. Okay, it's okay, and it's okay to say that.
Yeah.
But let's make it right.
Exactly, and that's what we strive to do at the end of every day.
Right, and because hearing aids are customizable down to the millimeter, to the 1 decibel point that happens. You can. I had a lady. I just turned her down. I kept her soft sound louder. Her medium sounds louder, but her loud sounds a lot softer.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, can you do that? Well, yeah, because some of the cool
to the
technology.
Nth degree, yeah.
Right. So how much does technology change?
Oh my goodness.
When is the cycle of change that you see?
I see incremental change about every 6 months. Big changes about every 3 years. I see a turnover, which I'm sure you've seen throughout your years in the industry as well. That's usually when a big new product, like 2 years.
It sometimes feels like 2 years. Okay, you say 3 years. I always feel like 2 years.
Yeah, that's usually like 2 years ago was our last launch of our big kind of industry-changing product. And I can see this lasting for another, I don't know, I'm not the person, but another 1 or 2 years before it's another, big
There's
change.
another flip over.
It's very similar, I think, to cell phone technology. I feel like Apple, even though they come out with a new iPhone every year, it's every couple years, it's a, whoa, that's new.
That's a big difference.
That's
like I have an
difference.
iPhone 11 now.
Yeah.
And it's only 12 came out. Man, that's not much difference.
Right.
But when my need changes, then, maybe there's an iPhone 14 that would really be, holy cow, that will make a difference. Well, that's the same kind of thing that happens in the technology here.
Yeah, it's very quickly progressing, and that's why, you might hear a provider say, every 3 to 5 years, you might consider new technology, not because your old hearing aid isn't working anymore, just because the new technology is so much better than what you initially got.
So let me ask you this. I want you to explain R&D to me. Tell me a little bit about, just on a basis, with thinking about patients when they're thinking about this, what does R&D do?
Well, research and develops. So Starkey's really good, in my opinion, of course, I work for them, about listening to feedback from you and from your patients and taking it and making it whole. So they take your feedback and say, you want a product that does X, Y, and Z, okay, 3 years, it's on the roadmap. And so they start, the engineers and researchers start working together to not only do acoustical or, sound changes to the devices, but also cool, unique features that we've also added to the devices, like fall detection, step tracking, language translation, etc. So they work on that as a team for years. Right now they're working on things that we won't see for 2 to 3 years.
And I think I will say this, if you think about the things that the CIA, now if you ever watch spy movies, right? And the CIA, and they're like talking back and forth, and they're talking in like a little, it's called a completely in the canal, and they're talking back and forth, and they're not, talking with a little microphone here, and there's they have technology that they kind of release to the government that the consumer doesn't always see, the normal consumer doesn't see, that you guys can't even get into because it's special. See, we wouldn't know about it. But yet, one of the things that happens, and I know about, what technology is, there's some cool technologies that, she and I can't even think of right now, but that the manufacturer's doing. Does that make sense? So they're thinking maybe 2 or 3 years ahead, going, this is this new cool thing. If you saw it, you'd be like drooling.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And they purposely don't tell the sales team a lot because we're just big mouths and we go, oh my gosh, guess what's coming?
Right.
But yeah.
And I think that's the cool thing, that you should be excited about the technology.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm going to say some of you have either heard friends who didn't do real well with hearing aids, or you didn't do very well with hearing aids, and I would say, man, you're missing out, because there's changes that hit us now just hit me like 3 changes, like 3 cool things that you have out. And you sort of mentioned one of them, but 3 cool changes that are out there.
Yeah, I mean, number one, we have a feature called Edge Mode in one of our devices that you simply tap the hearing aid. They have sensors inside of it, so you don't even have to push a button. Just tap your ear and it will actually take a snapshot of wherever you are and adjust automatically. And we've actually found through research that it essentially gets rid of masks, what they do to speech. We've all been experiencing it. We were just talking about even people with normal hearing are struggling understanding speech with masks. So Edge Mode essentially gets rid of that mask.
But it can also hook up to a TV, like you do this and hook up to your TV setup too.
Yes. Yeah. Any environment that you're going, man, I just want to hear a little better. Of course, we have tons of automatic features already on the hearing aids, but sometimes you just need that little push, and that's what this does just at the tap of your fingertips.
So Edge is the first thing. So what's the second one that you think about?
So
I know I'm hitting you out of the middle of it.
Well, and with our AI technology, I mean, just choose one of the features. One of my favorite features is our auto on and off feature. So in all of our AI products, you just set your hearing aid down on a surface. Let's say you're just getting in the shower real quick. Maybe you're going to go walk around your house. If you set it flat on a surface, the sensor knows that. It will turn off after 15 minutes. You pick it back up, it turns back on. So it's a nice little power saving mechanism. We also have reminders that can go through your hearing devices that I use constantly. You just set it on your app, take the dog out at 4 p.m. and at 4 p.m. you get a little bing, take the dog out in your hearing aids.
That's so cool.
Or if you have prescription that you take every morning that you're constantly forgetting about, every morning at 9 a.m. you can have it tell you take your medication. Right. So it's little things like that that can not only, I'm throwing out lots of Starkey phrases, hear better but live better. Right. So all of these little things that you can have on your phone and your app and also in your hearing aid can help just integrate everything into your life a little easier.
Thirdly, I would say, talk to me about the fall detection, because that is really important. So give me an explanation of what might happen.
Oh, yes. So in our Livio Edge AI hearing aids, we have sensors integrated into the devices themselves. And so they work as a team, the 2 devices, and once they sense a fall, they'll actually start a countdown. So it starts at a minute. And so if you're okay.
So if I fall down, it's going to wait a minute before
it's going to send an emergency text message to up to 3 contacts. So the text message will say, you can personalize it, but it'll typically say, Jamie fell with a link. You can then click that link and it will go into your maps and it will show you a pin on the map where I am. That you can then drive to and help that person. You can also send a manual alert. So you can program it into a push and hold option on your hearing aid. So let's say you haven't fallen, but you're home alone and you're feeling a little unsafe or unwell. You can push and hold the button on your hearing aid and it will send that same alert to those same contacts.
Well, you could have fallen and broken a hip and then, you can't get up anymore, but you're stuck down there. Mm-hmm. You don't have your phone with you, you don't have any other way, and you can do that kind of thing to hey, tell my daughter, that kind of thing. And it will call the daughter or send the text.
Send the text, yep. Right. Absolutely. So it's really, I even have an account that has her teenage daughter wearing these devices, and every time she gets off the school bus and gets home, she has her send her the manual alert so she can check on the map and say, oh, she's home. Okay. So there's so many use cases for it, not just for people that might be more at risk for a fall, but if you fall off your bike, you can fall at any age.
Right.
So
I think those. I'll leave you with this, and we'll kind of wrap it up here. I'll tell you this one story. I had this patient, and what's cool about it is that they have battery warnings, right? Now a lot of them are rechargeable, which I love rechargeable. Both of us just love it, to death. But I had this lady that it's before rechargeables, and it would talk to you, and when the battery would go low, you say battery, and it would go ding, battery, right? And I had this lady that came in, and she had some pretty significant dementia. She comes in with and she goes, my mom's complaining about something on the phone. I was like, she's really upset. Oh, okay. And so I get in the room and I'm like, I know you're upset about something. She just gets really tense. She's mad. She's so mad. And I said, can you calm down and tell me what you want me to do? And she said, there's a man talking in my ear on Sunday morning, and I think it's inappropriate for men to call me on Sunday. And I was like, a man to talk on a Sunday?
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure it out. I was like, wait, does he say battery? Yes. So what I did is I flipped it over to a woman talking, and I made her say the woman talking. She goes, and woman say, battery.
Yeah.
And I was like, she goes, that's better. And I thought that was a great, but it's okay. And I know that's an issue with some of your family, that they're struggling with that. You can do them up to how many languages?
Oh, I believe there's 36 different languages.
So like we've done it. I had a guy that was trilingual, and he wanted it in Spanish, and I was like, cool. And I'm like, I don't know Spanish, so I pop it in there, and it just uploads to that stuff too.
You can change it to a British male, British female, whatever you like.
Yeah, and I think one of the other things that I think Starkey's doing too that are really pushing the industry is that you guys have a translation feature in it. And I mean, in the app, we can have a translation. Now think about this for a second. I walk in, to France, and Jamie knows French, let's say, and she's like able to talk, and I'm like, and if I can flip it over to French, I'm hearing that stuff, and at least I'm getting that on the screen. Can you hear it through the hearing aids too?
Yep.
So guess what? It's coming through. Now, it's not the perfect voice, the same person, but you're going to hear French in your hearing aids.
Yeah.
Guys, man, there's some cool stuff now.
Yep.
And there's going to be awesome things down the road. And that's one of the things that helps me. So I think as Jamie does this and as Starkey makes that kind of difference, it really changes the world with that too.
Absolutely.
And I think that can get you excited about cool technology. So if you like what we're talking about here, now Jamie's also going to put it on her YouTube channel, because I'm going to send this. So I want you to subscribe to Jamie and check out what some of the stuff she does. If you're on ours with Hearing Solution Centers, go ahead and subscribe and click the little ding button on there. But I thank you so much for coming to talk to us.
Thanks.